Pacific Drive is a super cool and mysterious upcoming road-like survival game about upgrading your station wagon and taking it out into the elements to face off against scientific anomalies. If that at all sounds interesting to you, then good, you're in the right place. I've made a few videos about this game and wanted to put out a full guide or roadmap to the apocalypse that you'll be able to experience for yourself later this year on PS5 and PC. Starting off with the basics, in Pacific Drive, it's your job to survive the anomaly-filled Olympic exclusion zone. But it's not going to be easy. A combination of supernatural dangers and weird weather phenomena will be doing their best to stop you from figuring out what's going on and how to escape. On any given run, you'll want to upgrade your car before heading out, and there will be a ton of customization here, which I'll go deeper into later. Once you leave your garage, it's time to hunt for what's known as an anchor, your ticket out of one area and into the next. In total, there will either be 3, 4, or 5 biomes to explore. I've seen different sources give different numbers, and I'm not sure if this has ever been officially confirmed. Making it out won't be easy though, and you'll have to keep an eye on all these meters and gauges that fill up your dashboard. And you should look out for scrap and resources out in the wilderness, which will help you upgrade your car for future runs. So that's generally what you can expect when playing Pacific Drive, and now I'd like to go into more details on some of the game's mechanics, like fixing up your car, as well as some more backstory and lore stuff. Let's talk about that station wagon. For one reason or another, we find ourselves at an old garage with nothing but this set of wheels and some time on our hands. The player's relationship with this car is central to the game, and the devs at Ironwood Studios want it to feel like its own character. In order to help achieve this, every interaction we have with the car will be manual in some way. You'll be installing parts, welding, and pumping gas all by hand to help build a better connection to your vehicle. It is, after all, the only way you'll be able to survive the dangers of the zone. Interestingly enough, early on in development, there wasn't really any hands-on mechanic work to do in the game. Customization was done through a menu, and Ironwood Studios decided they needed to add something here to make fixing up your car more satisfying and more personal. Their goal with this whole system, and really any time you're interacting with your car, was to strike a balance between something that's more involved than your standard video game, but not as in-depth as a simulator. I totally love the mix of analog and digital they've decided to go with too. It feels high-tech in an apocalyptic kind of way. And when you are ready to head out, you'll have to manually insert the key and turn it, flick on the lights or the wipers, and refer to the map in your passenger seat to make sure you're headed the right way. Another really cool feature here is the quirk system. Just as they do in real life, each player's car will begin to develop its own quirks as they play. Maybe the headlights will flash whenever you flick the wipers on. Just odd little things like that are neither good nor bad, just kinda weird. They exist to make you feel like you're getting to know this vehicle and really bonding with it. A lot of these quirks are based on real-life car stories people have shared with the devs, and they'll be unique to your game. While most roguelikes are focused purely on combat, Pacific Drive is a unique balance of prepping your car in the shop, driving skillfully and navigating through or around obstacles, and keeping an eye on things like your car's component analysis and your gas gauge. Getting more into the gameplay now, even your failures will provide some benefit. You'll slowly start to learn more about the zone and what happened in it, as well as collect scrap and resources out in the wilds that you can use to upgrade your car and add new stations to your garage. You can use a scanner to gather info on different resources and enemies to unlock an encyclopedia entry. This will cause these anomalies to appear on the map in your car and will then help you decide which route to take. And each time you venture out into a biome, you'll start at a different position, which could be disorienting for players who don't yet have a good handle on the map. Over time though, as you fill up your encyclopedia and learn the level layouts, you can eventually unlock shortcuts through to the next area. As far as we know, the main goal in Pacific Drive, aside from figuring out what's going on, is gonna be finding anchors. Once you do that, you'll place them into something called the Arc device to open portals which can be used to travel to the next area. And that's what this giant beam of light is all about. Like I mentioned earlier, the game will strike a balance somewhere between video gamey and pure simulation. So you won't have to worry about, say, switching gears, but the car will handle differently depending on what surface you're driving on. This is purely a first-person game, which is definitely a bit more challenging than doing it in third person, but Ironwood is focusing a lot on making gameplay accessible and is well aware of common motion sickness triggers and FOV do's and don'ts. Players will be able to leave their car, although it would be wise not to stray too far away. Oh, and don't forget to put it in park before you get out. Now onto the game world. If we take a look at the map here, it seems like different biomes are kind of a series of circles, one inside another. And this player has mapped out some possible routes through them and various points of interest, including a town and a skull. Our map when we're inside of our car, though, will be a lot more detailed, with different roads showing up and various resources and anomalies once we've scanned them. Pacific Drive does have an overarching main story that is being kept a secret at this point. There will be characters to talk to over the radio and apparently some side quests too. So what exactly is this mysterious Olympic exclusion zone, and why is it trying to kill us? Essentially, it's the site of former secretive experiments done by the Ardo organization. When things started to go wrong, they walled off the entire area, and, well, I can see why. The zone is littered with these huge industrial facilities, pipelines, towers, and train tracks, which I found pretty interesting. I'm guessing there's something more going on with all these than just looks. Maybe a quest involving getting a power station up and running and transporting something very valuable in a train car from one end of the map to the other to help stop the world from ending. Something like that, maybe. But whatever this quest is, it's not going to be so easy to complete. Many different types of anomalies inhabit the zone, some which we know a little about and others that are a complete mystery. These spiky scrap metal energy balls are called bunnies, like dust bunnies, and they'll latch onto your car and drain the energy from it. Pickpockets are flying anomalies that use their tentacle-like arms to steal items right off your car. But the coolest thing here is the ability to use them to your advantage once you have some more knowledge about how different entities behave. You can, for example, get pickpockets to take the bunnies straight off your car. We also have crawlers that dig through the ground and can flip your station wagon over. These mannequins, though, are one of those mysteries I talked about, and I'm sure there will be plenty more of those. Pacific Drive is Ironwood Studios' first game together, and they are clearly going all out with this one. They've managed to combine two genres that some people would say are overdone at this point, roguelikes and survival games, with a genre that needs way more attention, driving games, into something totally unique with a big personality. If any of you out there watching this were able to play the demo at PAX East, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you want to learn more and get involved in the Pacific Drive community, Ironwood Studios does have a relatively new Discord server you can join. And that's all I have for you today. I pretty much covered everything here that I already talked about in my previous videos on the game, so maybe check out one of these next.